Hello Year 5 and Year 6. Well, today's the day that you actually start to write your newspaper article about a UFO that's landed. Now, you might have chosen that your UFO is going to land somewhere that's not in Walden. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. We were having a big discussion about it in class, whether we should or shouldn't. It's got to be somewhere that you know. So if it's somewhere that you go on holiday a lot to, then you're going to be able to write some more detail and give it some more description. If not, use Walden as the place where you want to write about. Now, I've put 5 things up that I want you to think about, okay, so that when you start to write your newspaper article, remembering that passive and that active voice and making sure that we're writing it in the correct way, okay? So we've given you some ideas, and there's that newspaper article that we looked at on Monday to help you. There's lots of stuff on the internet to have a look at as well to help you with writing your newspaper article. Remember, it's a newspaper article though, and it's not something that you would put on a website, okay, because the writing is slightly different for that. So I've put them up randomly. Which one do you think you need to include first? So in your introduction, you're going to say what has happened. Just very briefly, really, really briefly, what has happened, okay? So what happened? You're going to include in the what happened, where it happened, because we need to know where it is. I need to know where I need to stay away from so that I can not be near these UFOs and the potential aliens that might be coming to get us. Okay, so you're going to be including that. Now, you might only talk about it very briefly in your introduction, that's fine. And then in the main body, you might go into a bit more detail. Other things that you're going to need to include is when did it happen? When did this happen? Did it happen last week? Did it happen yesterday? When did it happen? So you need to say when it happened. Include the time. Include the time. And who was there? Who saw it? Who saw it? I need to know who saw it. And that's where you're going to get your quotes, and you're going to get all the active, those fizzy sentences that I talked about on Monday. So include all of those things in your writing, okay? And the last thing that you might want to include is the why. Why did this happen? Maybe you'd like to give a comment at the end about why you think this might have happened. But be careful, because that is going to be your opinion, isn't it? This one is about your opinion. And when we're writing a newspaper article, it's not what you think. You're reporting on the facts. And obviously, we're making up our own facts, aren't we, to write this newspaper article. So you can interview the Queen if you want to. It's totally up to you. You can interview Mr. Fitter if you want to. That's fine too. It's totally up to you who you interview for your newspaper article. Remember to include those as quotes, because they're brilliant for active voice, and try and include all of those things as well. Don't forget that the things that you need to include in your newspaper article. So you need your headline. It's got to be a really good headline. It's got to really knock me out, okay? You've got to grab me and say, read my article, okay? So it's got to be something like, so we're not alone anymore. It's totally up to you. You decide what your headline is going to be, okay? But it's got to link to your newspaper article. It can't just be something random. It's got to link to your newspaper article, but it's got to grab our attention. Don't forget your byline. Who is it by? It's not by me, it's by you. Make sure you put your name on it, okay? Then, very short introduction. Okay, very short introduction. Just talking about those things like what happened, where did it happen, when did it happen, very, very briefly. Your who is going to be in your main body. Okay, that's going to be all those meaty quotes, all those wonderful things. Remember, in your main body, to include those quotes, but also be careful that you're not including this word. We saw, we did, we went. There's no we in it, is there? Okay. All right, you are reporting what happened. Okay, you weren't there, so you can't say that you were there. Okay, it's about what other people saw, and that's what those quotes are going to be. Okay, remember direct speech, so they need to be the correct punctuation. Remember in your passive voice, so yes, your passive voice, you are going to be using more words, and that's fine, but remember to use those extra words to make sure that you're using the right thing in the right order. And remember, if you're writing about a subject, where does that need to be in your sentence? If you're writing about an object, where does that need to be in your sentence? If it's passive, then we've been talking about where that should be in our sentences, haven't we? So try and remember to put those in the right order. You're writing in a really passive, formal way. You're not giving your opinion on things. You're not going to tell us what you think as the newspaper writer about this UFO. You're not going to be telling us that, okay? Have fun. I can't wait to see what you come up with. I'm expecting some really great quotes from some fantastic people out there, okay? So go wild with it. Use your imagination. You might even include some descriptions of what the UFO looked like. That would be great, wouldn't it? Did you see any little green faces at the window waving at you? Did they come and deliver something to Medway River? Did they drop something in the river and then disappear off? What is it they've left behind? You use your imagination, come up with something absolutely brilliant. If you want to include things that weren't in your plan from Tuesday, that's fine, include them, that's brilliant. We can't wait to see what you come up with your fantastic UFO writing. Have lots of fun. Take care.